Project Purple leads the pack in Repsol, charging ahead at P1. Tommy Boy charges in second, chasing down the leader, fierce determination in every turn. Deadly D4N13L charges ahead, battling fiercely for second place. Tommy Boy rockets ahead, holding the lead with fierce determination. Deadly D4N13L charges hard in Repsol, battling fiercely for P2. Aha's 3N in the Renault charges hard, battling fiercely for third place. Project Purple charges hard in Lacaisha, now P2, closing in fast. Os 3N charges ahead, battling fiercely for P3. The pressure mounts. Tommy Boy charges Turkamsa, battling fiercely for P3. Frederick Amsup surges forward in third for Italy, chasing the leaders fiercely. Project Purple rockets to third, charging ahead, gaining ground on the leaders. Deadly D4NL13L charges forward, battling for third, engines roaring, tension rising. "25 minutes left, tension rising, drivers pushing limits, battles heating up." Project Purple surges to P3 in Europcar, battling fiercely for the podium. Saint Dito charges through Lacaisha, battling hard for P4. Project Purple storms ahead in Renault, P1, best lap 138.870. Deadly D4NHDEL charges in P3, clocking a blistering 140.343 lap. Grandmaster Matt 44 battles fiercely in fourth, closing the gap, pressure mounting. St. Dito charges hard, battling fiercely for P6, closing in fast. Tommy Boy charges into second, setting a blistering best lap of 139.273. Grandmaster Matt 44 storms through in the Renault, clinching 7th place. Project Purple and Repsol leads, charging ahead, dominating the track, fierce competition. Deadly D4N13L in Repsol charges hard, battling for P3, eyes locked ahead. St. Dito charges in Repsol, 4th place, blazing a best lap of 142.250. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges ahead, slicing through the pack, fighting for P6. Project Purple charges to P2, clocking a blistering 138.575 lap. Deadly D4N13L charging hard in 3rd, setting a blazing 140.248 lap time. Austin charges through New Holland, battling for 7th place. Tommy Boy leads in Renault, sets best lap at 138.545. "20 minutes left, drivers pushing hard. Every second counts. The tension is electric." Oz 3 charges to 4th, clocking a blistering 140.352 lap. Deadly D4N13L battles fiercely, now 3rd, pushing for the lead. Tommy Boy leads in Bag Sabadell, charging ahead, pushing the limits, fierce competition. Deadly D4N13L in Renault charges to 3rd, sets blazing best lap 140.088. ASRN charges forward, battling hard for 3rd place. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges and banks Sabadell P5, blazing a best lap at 140.642. Saint Dito charges to P6, setting a blistering 140.753 lap time. Project Purple leads at P1, setting a blistering best lap of 138.185. Ashen battles fiercely, holding fourth, closing in on the podium. Project Purple surges ahead, claiming P1, fierce battle unfolding behind. Frederick amps up charges to 7th, clocking a blistering 141.725 lap. Project Purple leads Europe car, charging ahead, dominating the track, relentless speed. Deadly D4N13L fights hard in Bank Sabadell, holding P3 with a blazing 140.038. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges ahead in the seat, battling fiercely for P5. Tommy Boy charges into second, closing the gap, chasing hard for the lead. Frederick amps up, storms into P7, charging through the pack. Relentless pace. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges forward, battling for P6, fierce determination driving him. 15 minutes left. Drivers pushing limits, adrenaline surging, tension building. Slappin' in Elf charges hard, battling fiercely for 8th place now. Tommy Boy in Renault charges into second, closing in on the leader. Frederick amps up charges forward from Italy and Campsa, now P7. Slappin' in, Elf charges hard, battling fiercely in P8. Eyes on the prize. Saint Dito charges in P5, nails the best lap at 140.506. Tommy Boy charges in. New Holland, now in second place, pushing hard. Saint Dito charges hard, slicing through the pack at P6. Tommy Boy charges hard in P2, closing in on the leader. Frederick amps up, charges forward from Italy, now battling for 6th place. Slappin and Renault charges hard, battling fiercely in 8th place. Tommy Boy charges into second, closing in on the leader fast. Aha S10 in Elf charges hard, battling for 5th place. Bullet charges through the pack, now battling for P8. Relentless pursuit. Frederick amps up and Renault charges to P7, clocking a blistering 141.595. Bullet in seat charges to Ake, weaving through traffic, gaining ground fast. Slapping in, Retzal charges hard, battling fiercely for P9. Ten minutes left. The tension rises. Drivers push harder, eyes locked on victory. Bullet in La Caixa charges hard, battling for P8. Fierce competition ahead. Buggy charges hard, slicing through the pack from P10, gaining ground fast. Bullet charges into 10th, closing in on the pack. Relentless pursuit. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges in 3rd, clocking a blistering 139.457 lap. Austin rockets to P5, nails a blistering 139.901 lap. Bullet charges forward, battling fiercely for 8th place, relentless and determined. Saint Dito charges hard in Kamsa, battling fiercely for P6. Tommy Boy rockets to P2, slashing the best lap at 138.514. Bullet charges to 8th, sets a blistering 145.274 best lap. Tommy Boy charges in Repsol, battling fiercely for second place, closing in fast. Slappin charges through the pack in 10th, eyes set on 9th. Tommy Boy battles fiercely, snatching second at La Caixa, closing in on the leader. As3N rockets to P5, charging ahead, closing the gap fast. Tommy Boy charges hard in second, closing in on the leader fast. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges forward, battling fiercely for third place. Slappin battles hard in 10th, pushing for position, gaining ground fast. Saint Dito battles hard, charging through La Caixa, holding P6 tight. Five minutes left. Tension mounts. Drivers push limits. Every second counts. Buggy charges forward, battling hard, pushing for 7th place. As3N from Canada rockets into 5th in the seat, pushing hard. Deadly D4NTL charges through La Caixa 4th place, best lap, 139.873. Buggy charges hard, 10th place, blazing a best lap of 143.686. Slappin in 8th, charging hard, best lap 142.137, pushing for more. Frederick amps up, charges to 7th, posting a blistering 141.382 lap. Tommy Boy in the seat charges hard, battling fiercely for second place. Buggy claws into 10th, charging hard, closing the gap, relentless pursuit. Frederick charges forward, now claiming 7th position, gaining momentum. Deadly D4 N13L storms to P3, nails a blistering 139.010 lap time. St. Dito charges forward, eyeing P5. The battle intensifies. Buggy charges hard in La Caixa, battling for P10. Fierce competition ahead. St. Dito charges to 6th, sets a blistering best lap at 140.438. Tommy Boy charges into 2nd, closing in on the leader, fierce and relentless. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges in La Caixa, now 4th, sets blazing best lap 139.058. Tommy Boy charges hard, closing in on P1. The crowd roars. Frederick amps up, charges to P8, sets blazing best lap 141.091. St. Dito charges hard, battling for P7, gaining ground, eyes focused. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges into P4, closing in on the podium. Oz 3 rockets to 5th in Kamsa, sets a blistering 139.705 best lap. Buggy in Repsol charges hard, battling for 10th, pushing through the pack. Bullet sprints to P10, nails a blistering 143.385 lap. Buggy battles fiercely in 11th, pushing hard for a top 10 finish. Wind howls, drivers push limits, tension rises at Circuit de Barcelona. Qualifying heats up. Nick Edwards charges forward, battling fiercely in P3, eyes on the prize. Bullet rockets in Renault, charging to P5, closing in fast. Cadets from Jamaica charges through, now 7th in the Elf. Buggy charges hard in P9, pushing for a top finish in the Renault. Nick Edwards charges in, Bank Sabadell holding strong at P2. Buggy charges forward, slicing through the pack, now at P8. Project Purple surges to 7th, gaining 4.63 seconds. Incredible pace. Project Purple surges ahead, gaining 5.08 in Repsol. Incredible speed. Project Purple surges ahead, gaining 5.66 in Campsa, pushing for victory. Project Purple surges ahead, gaining 5.90 in Europcar, charging for the lead. Hami Boy charges into 5th, pushing hard for every position. Bullet charges hard, slicing through the pack, now P5. Project Purple rockets to 3rd, gaining 0.20 on the leaders. Astrian charges into 10th, flying in the Renault, gains 1.16 seconds. Project Purple charges ahead in 3rd, gaining 0.23 seconds on the leaders. Project Purple surges ahead, gaining 0.56 in Europcar, momentum building fast. 25 minutes to go. The tension mounts. Drivers push harder. Positions change. Assen charges through New Holland, fighting for 8th place hard. Slappen charges ahead, P4, extending the lead to 0.52 seconds. Project Purple charges ahead in 3rd, gaining ground at 0.17 seconds. Buggy charges hard in New Holland, battling for P8. The tension rises. Buggy charges to 7th, clocking 1:43.554, 5.716 seconds off pole. Project Purple charges to 3rd, gaining 0.25 in La Caixa. Fierce battle ahead. Frederick amps up, charging forward from Italy, now P6, gaining momentum. Project Purple grabs provisional pole with a blistering 1:38.785. Frederick amps up, charges to 6th with a blistering 1:40.936, just 3.098 off pole. Buggy charges to P7, gains 1.74 seconds. Best lap 1:43.554, chasing pole. Buggy rockets to 8th, clocking 1:42.082, 4.386 seconds off pole. Buggy charges ahead, gaining 0.13 on Elf. The battle intensifies. Frederick amps up, charges forward, battling for 7th place. Fierce determination. Frederick amps up, surges ahead, gaining 0.21 in La Caixa. Incredible speed. Frederick amps up, rockets to P8, clocking a blistering 1:40.283, just 2.587 off pole. Frederick amps up, rockets ahead, gaining 0.10 in Elf, pure speed unleashed. Deadly D4N13L charges hard, pushing for P5. The crowd roars. Deadly D4N3L rockets ahead, stretching the lead in La Caixa. Pure adrenaline. Deadly D4N13L charges to P5, clocking a blistering 1:39.402, just 1.706 off pole. Deadly D4N13L surges ahead, gaining 0.18 in Elf, pushing for the lead. Os 3N rockets to 7th. Gains 0.48 in Bank Sabadell. 20 minutes left. Os 3N rockets to P6 with a blistering 139.550, closing in fast. Project Purple holds provisional pole. Os 3N gains 0.11 in ELF. Thrilling battle. Deadly D4N13L rockets to 5th, gaining 0.15 in La Caixa. Deadly D4N13L charges to 5th, clocking 139.229, just 1.533 off pole. St. Dito charges through New Holland, battling for P12. CAD storms to P11, gaining 0.76 seconds. Relentless charge ahead. CADS moves to P10 with a 141.926, 4.230 seconds from pole. Project Purple leads at 137.463. CADS charges up 0.27 in ELF. Buggy charges to P9 with a blistering 140.234, closing in on the leaders. Project Purple leads, gaining 0.15, charging ahead. The race heats up. CAD storms to P11, slicing through the field. Best lap 141.926, chasing down pole. CAD surges ahead by 0.87 in La Caixa, gaining ground fast. Tommy Boy charges to 4th, gaining 0.15 seconds, pushing hard. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges ahead in P2, 0.32 seconds off the leader. Grandmaster Matt 44 surges ahead, 0.54 seconds in Europe car, charging for victory. Grandmaster Matt 44 seizes provisional pole, blazing a 137.268. Deadly D4N13L charges from 5th, pushing hard, gaining 0.23 seconds on the pack. Deadly D4N13L surges to P5, clocking a 138.911, closing in on pole. Os 3N charges to 6th, gaining 0.24 seconds. Fierce attack underway. 15 minutes left. Drivers push harder. Tensions rise. The battle intensifies. S3 rockets ahead, gaining 0.32 seconds in the Europe car. Oz 3N rockets to P6 with a blistering 139.534, just 2.266 off pole. Bullet charges to P12, gaining 0.23 seconds, pushing hard. Buggy battles fiercely, charging through the pack. Now P9. Buggy rockets ahead, gaining 0.02 in Repsol. Pure adrenaline. As in P6 sets best lap at 139.534, chasing down the leaders. Project Purple charges into P2, 0.17 seconds ahead, relentless pace. Buggy charges into ninth, clocking a blistering 140.234, chasing pole fiercely. Ostren storms into P6, battling hard for every inch. Cads in the Renault charges forward, now up to 11th place, closing the gap. Buggy in Elf charges to P9, gaining 0.11 seconds. Os3N surges to P6, gaining 0.11 seconds, pushing hard. Oz3N rockets to 6th with a blistering 139.207, just 1.939 off pole. Oz3N surges ahead, gaining 0.09 in Elf. Fierce battle intensifies. Bullet gains ground, now P12, charging forward in Kamsa. Bullet rockets ahead, 0.79 seconds faster in Europe car, chasing victory. Bullet charges to 12th, clocking 142.983, trailing pole by 5.715 seconds. Bullet charges ahead, 0.08 seconds faster in Elf, chasing victory. Austrian fights hard in P6, 10 minutes left to gain ground. Bullet charges to 12th, gaining 0.86 in Repsol, pushing hard. Bullet surges ahead, 1.45 seconds in Kamsa, dominating the track. Bullet surges ahead, gaining 1.77 seconds in Europe car, relentless pace. Bullet charges to 12th, clocking 141.001, just 3.733 off pole. Bullet surges ahead, gaining 0.05 on Elf. The battle intensifies. Frederick amps up, charging in P10. Best lap 140.283, chasing pole by 3.015 seconds. Cads in Renault pushes hard, P11, best lap 140.958, chasing pole. Project Purple charges in second, setting a blistering 137.344 lap, just 0.076 from pole. St. Dito rockets to 8th, gains 0.08, sets best lap at 139.994. Deadly D4N13L storms to 5th in Renault. Best lap 138.911, chasing pole. Nick Edwards charges 4th, clocking a blistering 137.838, just 0.570 from pole. Frederick amps up, charges forward, now in 10th, gaining 0.14 seconds. Tommy Boy in third, blazing a 137.663, just 0.395 off pole. Project Purple in Repsol charges into second, slicing through the pack, up 0.16. St. Dito charges forward, now 8th, gaining 0.14 seconds. Five minutes left. The tension mounts. Drivers push harder. Every second counts. St. Dito charges ahead. gaining 0.69 in La Caixa. Pure adrenaline. Saint Dito charges to 8th, clocking 139.589, just 2.321 off pole. Nick Edwards charges ahead in Campsa, now P4, gaining 0.74 seconds. Nick Edwards charges ahead, gaining 0.81 seconds in Europe car. Fierce battle unfolding. Nick Edwards storms to provisional pole, blazing a 137.089. Slappin' rockets to P7, gains 0.42, nails a 139.581 best lap. Tommy Boy charges forward, battling fiercely for third place. Frederick amps up, charges to P10, closing in with a 0.13 second gain. Project Purple rockets to P3, gaining 0.25 seconds. Fierce battle ahead. Frederick charges forward, slicing through the pack, now P10. Frederick amps up, charges to P9 with a blistering 140.051, just 2.962 off pole. Project Purple charges forward, battling fiercely in third place, gaining ground fast. Project Purple surges ahead, gaining 0.24 in Bank Sabadell, racing for victory. Slappin' charges into 7th, battling fiercely for every inch. Slappin' charges ahead, gaining 0.71 seconds in La Caixa. Pure adrenaline. Frederick charges to P9, gaining 0.48 seconds in La Caixa. Frederick amps up, charges to 9th, with a blistering 139.717, closing the gap. Project Purple surges to 3rd, gaining 0.14, battling fiercely for the podium. Project Purple grabs provisional pole, 136.760, lightning fast lap. Project Purple charges ahead, gaining ground on Elf, pushing for that lead. Tommy Boy charges to 4th, gaining 0.15 in overtime, pushing hard for the lead. Nick Edwards in second. Fastest lap, 137.089, just 0.329 from pole. Bullet in Renault charges to P12, sets best lap at 141.001. Deadly D4N13L charges forward in New Holland, now battling for P5. Nick Edwards charges into second, closing in on the leader fast. Bullet in Kamsa charges hard, battling for P12, fierce and relentless. Project Purple leads the charge, slicing through Circuit de Barcelona, wind at their back. Nick Edwards storms into P2, closing in on the leader. Grandmaster Matt 44 fights hard, holding third, eyes on the podium. Tommy Boy charges from Italy, battling fiercely in fourth place. Deadly D4N13L charges forward, battling fiercely for fifth position, eyes on the prize. Aj3N charges forward, battling fiercely in sixth place. Slapin charges hard, battling fiercely in P7, eyes on the prize. Saint Dito charges forward, battling for seventh, gaining momentum, closing the gap. Project Purple charges to P1, dominating the start, fierce and unstoppable. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges ahead in Elf, battling fiercely for P3. Project Purple rockets into second in the Renault, chasing down the leader. Tommy Boy charges forward in Repsol, battling fiercely for P3. Project Purple charges into second, closing in on the leader fast. Nick Edwards dives into the pits, currently in 12th place. Project Purple takes the lead, charging ahead into first place. Tommy Boy charges hard, closing in on P1, relentless pursuit. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges forward, battling for P3, fierce determination fueling his drive. Tommy Boy holds P2, just 0.3 seconds ahead of Grandmaster Matt 44. Grandmaster Matt 44 in P3, clocking a blistering 145.037, just 0.974 seconds off. Cads in Renault charges P6, closing in on AS 3N by 0.4 seconds. Grandmaster Matt 44 surges in Repsol, closing in on Tommy Boy in P2. Cads in 6th, charging hard, just 0.7 behind AS 3N. What a battle. Tommy Boy holds second, 0.4 seconds clear of Grandmaster Matt 44. Fierce battle brewing. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges ahead, battling fiercely for 5th place. Tommy Boy charges hard, just 0.3 seconds off Project Purple's lead. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges in New Holland, closing in on Cad Star in P5. Tommy Boy in Elf charges into second, fastest lap at 138.708. Grandmaster Matt 44 in Renault charges hard, closing in on Cadstar for P6. Tommy Boy charges into second, closing in on the leader. Excitement builds. Cads in 6th, charging hard, just 0.3 seconds behind Grandmaster Matt 44. Buggy battles fiercely, charging through the field, now in 9th place. Buggy slips to P10 as Slappin charges to P9. Saint Dito charges in P8, closing in on Cad Zhao, just 0.8 seconds back. "40 minutes left. The tension is rising. Drivers pushing limits, racing for glory." Cads battles fiercely, holding 7th in New Holland, pushing for more. St. Dito charges in 8th, clocking a 142.251, trailing the fastest by 4.472 seconds. Cads, in 7th, closes in on Friedrich Amsup, who was 3.7 seconds quicker last lap. St. Dito charges in Repsol, closing in on Cads, just 0.7 seconds back. St. Dito storms past Cad Star for 7th place. Grandmaster Map 44 charges in Campsa, closing in on HAS 3N, just 0.7 seconds away. Project Purple leads in Europe car, 1.6 seconds clear of Tommy Boy on lap 4. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges forward in Europe car, battling for P5, relentless pursuit. St. Dito charges hard, closing in on Friedrich Amsup in P6, 1.4 seconds back. Bullet charges into the pits, now in 12th place, fighting for position. Oz 3N charges forward, battling fiercely for P5, eyes locked on the prize. St. Dito charges in 7th, closing in on Friedrich Amsup, just 1.2 seconds back. Oz 3N charges in P5, closing in on Grandmaster Matt 44, just 0.7 seconds back. Buggy blasts out of the pits, roaring back into the race. Slappin charges hard in P9, closing in on Cads, just 1.1 seconds back. Tommy Boy holds P2, 4.3 seconds clear of Deadly D4N 13L. Slappin charges in 9th, closing in on Cads, just 0.6 seconds behind. Cads battles fiercely in P7, pulling 0.5 seconds clear of Slappin. Tommy Boy blasts out of the pits, chasing the lead. St. Dito closes in on Friedrich Amsup, just 0.5 seconds behind, in 6th. Cads fights hard in P6, closing in on St. Dito. What a showdown! St. Dito holds 7th, fending off Slappin by just 0.2 seconds. St. Dito slips to 7th, Slappin surges ahead, fierce competition. Slappin in P7, pulling away from St. Dito. Last lap was blistering fast. "35 minutes to go. The tension builds, strategies unfold, drivers push harder. Slappin loses 7th to St. Dito. Fierce battle unfolding. Slappin drops to 9th as Tommy Boy surges ahead. Cads battles hard in 6th, pushing for a top 5 finish. Grandmaster Matt 44 charging in 3rd, closing in on Deadly D4 N13L, just 0.9 seconds away. Cads in Repsol charging hard in 6th, just 0.3 behind Frederick Amps Up. Deadly D4 N13L charges forward, closing in on Grandmaster Matt 44 in P2. Cads battles hard in P6, just 0.4 seconds behind Frederick Amps Up. Austrian charges in Europe car, closing in on Grandmaster Matt 44, just 0.8 seconds behind. Austrian rockets past Grandmaster Matt 44 into 3rd. Grandmaster Matt 44 falls to 4th. Cads rockets to 6th, sets a blistering 141.208, chasing the leader's pace. Cads storms past Frederick Amps Up, snags 5th place. Frederick Amps Up charges ahead, battling fiercely for P6, pushing limits, chasing glory. St. Dito closes in on Tommy Boy, just 0.7 seconds behind, pressure rising. Frederick Amps Up charges from Italy, closing in on Cads in 6th place. Tommy Boy charges P7, closing in on Frederick Amps Up. Last lap speed surge. Frederick surges to 6th, just 0.4 seconds behind Cads on lap 8. Tommy Boy closes in on Frederick Amps Up, just half a second separates them. Thrilling battle. Frederick charges hard on lap 8, closing in on Tommy Boy in 7th. Tommy Boy closes in on Cads, just 1.0 seconds behind. Last lap was blistering. Frederick Amps Up charges hard, closing in on Tommy Boy in 7th place. Tommy Boy closes in on Cads, just 0.3 seconds separating them. Intense battle. Frederick Amps Up charges hard, just 0.7 seconds off Tommy Boy in 7th. Tommy Boy holds P6, pulling away from Frederick Amps Up. Last lap, lightning fast. Buggy dives into the pits, holding steady in 11th place. Frederick Amps Up charges from P7, closing in on Tommy Boy, just 0.7 seconds back. Tommy Boy charges P6, closing in on Cads, just 0.3 seconds back. Slapin charging hard in P9, closing in on St. Dito, 0.3 seconds back. Cads charging hard in P6, just 0.3 seconds off Tommy Boy's tail. St. Dito charges P9, closing in on Slapin, just 0.1 seconds back. Cads in seat, blasts P6, half a second clear of Frederick amps up. Frederick amps up, charges hard, just 0.3 seconds off Cads in 7th. Cads in La Caixa holds P6, pulling 0.5 seconds clear of Frederick amps up. Frederick amps up, charges hard in Europe car, closing in on Cad Star in 7th. Slapin in 8, clocking a 1:38.797, chasing the fastest lap. Frederick amps up, charges in Elf, P7, closing in on Cad Star, just 0.7 seconds back. Slapin charges forward, closing in on Frederick amps up in 8th place. Slapin charges up to 7th place, gaining ground fast. Slapin surges past Frederick amps up, claims 6th position. Frederick amps up, charges forward, battling hard for position 7. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges in, Bank Sabadell, hot, on Ozentren's tail, just 0.6 seconds back. Cads, in Bank Sabadell fights for P8, clocking a best lap of 1:40.226. Frederick amps up, charges from P8, closing in on Cads. Just 0.1 seconds away. Deadly D4N13L storms out of the pits, racing back into the action. Grandmaster Math 44 and Slapin charge out of the pits. Slapin holds P7. Frederick rockets out of the pits, gaining crucial seconds on the competition. St. Dito rockets out of the pits, charging for 9th place. Nick Edwards rockets out of the pits, charging back into the fray. Cads battles fiercely, holding strong in 4th place, eyes on the podium. Cads slips to 5th, as Deadly D4N13L charges into 4th. With 25 minutes left, OS3N charges hard in P2. Tommy Boy in Europe car closes in on Oseren, just 0.2 seconds behind. Cads pits in 10th. Tommy Boy surges past AS3N for second. Cads back on track. AS3N dives into the pits, holding strong at P4. Tommy Boy charges into second on lap 13, closing in fast. AHS3N charges forward, battling for position, fighting hard at P7. Tommy Boy charges hard, closing in on the leader in P2. Slappin' rockets to 5th. 4.6 seconds clear of Frederick Amps up on lap 13. AHS3N charges out of the pits, racing back into the fray. Tommy Boy charges in, Europe car, battling fiercely for second place. Project Purple storms ahead in first place, Renault dominating the track. Deadly D4N13L in Elf surges to third, clocking a blistering 138.758, just 0.979 off the lead. Project Purple charges ahead, gaining ground, dominating the track, leading the race. Saint Dito charges through New Holland, currently sitting in 8th on lap 13. Grandmaster Map 44 charges through Campsa, battling fiercely for P4. Deadly D4N13L in Europe car charges hard, battling for third on lap 14. Saint Dito charges forward, battling for 7th, pushing hard, gaining ground. Project Purple leads the pack, charging ahead, dominating the race. Tommy Boy charges hard, battling for P2. Engines roar, tension builds. Nick Edwards storms into P7 in the Renault on lap 15. "20 minutes left. The tension rises. Drivers push harder, stakes higher. Tommy Boy charges hard in Europe car, battling for P2. Deadly D4N13L charges in New Holland, battling fiercely for third place. Tommy Boy charges forward, battling hard for P2, eyes locked on the leader. Frederick surges to P6 on lap 15, closing in fast. Tommy Boy charges forward, closing in on the leader. Relentless pursuit. Frederick amps up, charges ahead to 7th place, gaining momentum fast. Frederick storms out of the pits, charging for the lead. Deadly D4N13L charges ahead in Lacaisha, P3, 3.4 seconds clear of Grandmaster Mat 44. Tommy Boy charges hard, battling for second place, eyes locked on the leader. Deadly D4N13L holds P3, 4.5 seconds clear of Grandmaster Mat 44. Deadly D4N13L charges into second place, closing the gap fast. Tommy Boy emerges from the pits, charging hard in 4th place. Slappin' in 5th, charging hard, 1.3 seconds behind Tommy Boy on lap 17. Grandmaster Mat 44 charging hard in 3rd, 3.5 seconds off Deadly D4N13L's lead. Slappin' charges P5, closing in on Tommy Boy, just 1 second back. Austrian and Elf battles hard in P9, 2.4 seconds back from St. Dido. Grandmaster Mat 44 closes in on Deadly D4N13L, just 0.8 seconds behind, gaining speed. Grandmaster Mat 44 blasts past Deadly D4N13L into 2nd. Deadly D4N13L now in 3rd. Tommy Boy charges in 4th, just 0.4 seconds behind Slappin'. Deadly D4N13L blasts out of the pits, chasing down the leaders. Os H3 charges in La Caixa, 9th place, closing in on St. Dido, 1.3 seconds back. Tommy Boy charges P4, closing in fast on Slappin', 0.9 seconds behind. "15 minutes left. Drivers pushing hard, tension rising, every second counts." Austrian charging an Elf, closing in on St. Dido, just 1.1 seconds now. Tommy Boy charges in Europe car, closing in on Slappin just 1.2 seconds back. Aha's 3N charges in seat, closing in on St. Dido, just 0.7 seconds back. St. Dito charges hard, closing in on Frederick amps up in P8, just 0.8 seconds back. As 3N charging, just 0.6 seconds behind St. Dido in 9th. St. Dido holds 8th, pulling 0.7 ahead of ASS 3N. AS 3N charges forward, battling hard for P9, eyes on the prize. Frederick amps up, chases hard, just 0.1 seconds behind St. Dido in P9. Nick Edwards charges, closes in on Deadly D4N13L, just 0.8 seconds behind. St. Dido charges in 8th, closing in on AS 3N, just 1.2 seconds back. Nick Edwards charges, closing in on Deadly D4N13L, just 0.1 seconds back. Nick Edwards storms past Deadly D4N13L into 5th place. Deadly D4N13L charges forward, pushing hard from 6th, closing the gap. St. Dido charges in Europe car, P8, closing on AS 3N, just 1.5 seconds behind. Tommy Boy charges at P4, closing in on Slappin, just 2.4 seconds back. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges forward, battling fiercely for the lead in 2nd place. Tommy Boy charges P4, closing in on Slappin, just 2.6 seconds back. Tommy Boy rockets to P3, closing in on the leaders. Grandmaster Matt 44 re-enters the track, 4th place, battling for position. Nick Edwards in 5th, closing in on Grandmaster Matt 44, just 1.4 seconds behind. Project Purple leads the pack, charging ahead with fierce determination. "10 minutes to go. Tensions rise. Drivers push limits. Fierce battle unfolds." Nick Edwards closes in, just 0.9 seconds behind Grandmaster Matt 44 in 5th. Grandmaster Matt 44 in La Caixa pushes hard, P4, chasing that fastest lap. Nick Edwards, charging hard, closing in on Grandmaster Matt 44, just 0.2 seconds back. Frederick amps up, charges forward, battling fiercely for position 9. Slappin in P2, 2.8 clear of Tommy Boy. Nick Edwards out of the pits. Frederick charges ahead in Bank Sabadell, now in 9th place. Slappin in Bank Sabadell holds second, 2.4 seconds clear of Tommy Boy. Saint Dito charges through the pack in Repsol, now up to 8th. Saint Dito slips to 9th. Frederick amps up, storms ahead to 8th. Slappin rockets out of the pits, gaining ground, chasing the leaders. Tommy Boy charges hard, closing in on the leader at P2. Asen charges through the pack, now 7th on lap 22. Grand Master Matt 44 charges through Kamsa, battling fiercely for P3. Frederick amps up, charges forward, battling for position, P8 in the mix. Frederick amps up, rockets past Austrien, seizing 7th as they exit the pits. Saint Dito charges hard, battling for 9th place, gaining ground fast. Slappin charges into 5th, battling fiercely for every inch. Saint Dito storms out of the pits, charging for 9th place. Austrien charges from Canada, closing in on Frederick amps up in P7, 2.7 seconds back. Five minutes to go, tension rises, drivers push harder, battles ignite. Who will seize victory? Grandmaster Matt 44 surges to P3, battling fiercely for position. Oz 3N charging hard in P8, closing in on Frederick amps up, 1.6 seconds back. Slap-in charges through, battling fiercely for fifth at Bank Sabadell. Oz 3N in Renault closes in on Frederick amps up, just 0.2 seconds behind. Oz 3N charges past Frederick amps up, seizing 7th place. Frederick amps up in P8, closing in on AHS 3N, just 0.5 seconds behind. Deadly D4 and 13L charges into P4, closing in on the podium. Frederick amps up, charges forward, just 0.4 seconds behind AIS 3N in 8th. AS 3N streaks in 7th, 1.3 seconds clear of Frederick amps up. Project Purple charges ahead, leading the pack, dominating the race. Slap-in charges to P5 on lap 25, fierce and focused. Haas 3N in 7th, pulls 1.7 clear of Frederick amps up, pushing hard. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges into P3, closing in on the leaders fast. Project Purple leads, charging ahead, leaving the competition in the dust. Saint Dito pushing hard in P9, clocking a 140.547, chasing that fastest lap. Grandmaster Matt 44 charges into P3 on lap 27, closing in fast. Project Purple charges ahead, dominating the race, leading with fierce determination. Tommy Boy charges in 2nd, closing the gap, ready to pounce. Project Purple crosses the finish line, claiming a stunning P1 victory. Tommy Boy charges to P2, closing in on the leader. Frederick amps up, charges through, clinching a strong 7th place finish. Os 3N charges to P8. Grandmaster Matt 44 battles fiercely for P3. Deadly D419L charges to 4th. Slappin battles fiercely for 5th. Nick Edwards charges to P6. St. Dito fights hard in P9. St. Dito charges to 9th, pushing hard, closing the gap, relentless pace.